Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today is day 68 of my journey to learn Japanese. And the purpose of this series of live streams is to document my progress at learning Japanese, having started as a complete beginner. Now, my goal for today is to practice some more kanji and to do some reading practice as well. And so let's make a start. I'm here on the Lingo Command website, like usual, and I'm going to go to the Japanese section. Then I'm going to go to vocabulary. And what I'd like to practice today is a new set of verbs. So I'm going to go to verbs 3. This is basically 20 or so frequently used verbs in Japanese. And to just explain what we've got on screen here, we've got a table with the English words in the left column and the corresponding Japanese words in the right column. And if we want to know how the word is pronounced, we can just press here to do so.
変える、続ける、料理する。
And as you may have noticed, this is written in Romaji, this Japanese, but at a click of a button, we can view that in hiragana and katakana, or even hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Now, what I want to do is practice these kanji, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the quiz to basically practice. And what I'll be doing is I'm going to handwrite the answers, that way I can check the stroke order. And because I've not really learned this at all just yet, I'm not going to be applying random ordering. Instead, I'm just going to press here to get this Photoshop looking component in which we can handwrite our answer. And so let's take a look. So to change is kairu, kairu. And the kanji with the reading of ka, let's see, it's got a total of 9 strokes. And there's something kind of interesting about this radical at the top. It's got a total of 6 strokes, and it kind of reminds me of, I think it might be red. So if I go to the colors section here on Lingo Command, and we look for red, which is aka, you can see here that these bottom 5 strokes are pretty much identical to strokes 2 through 6 here. So that's worth pointing out. Now, as for this radical we've seen as well. So this has a reading of ka, and then it's eru. Okay. Now, of course, we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify that as incorrect, and then we'll go to continue. So to continue is tsuzukeru. Tsuzukeru. Cool. So here we've got this radical that comes up pretty often. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 strokes in total. And that has a reading of tsuzu. Let's write our furigana in blue. Tsu. Oh, no, this is interesting. So here, there are 2 ways to write zu in hiragana. You have this one, and then this is written as, I think this is actually written as du, but it's pronounced as zu. So let's just take a quick look at the Romaji reading for tsuzukeru. So that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to be checking the stroke order. So let's try this again. So to change in Japanese is kaeru, kaeru. And the kanji with the reading of ka was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is kind of like the radical that we see in the color red. And then it's 7, 8, 9. This, of course, has a reading of ka. And then there's some hiragana at the end, kaeru or kairu. Okay, so that's a match. Let's check the pronunciation here.
変える、
Kaeru. Cool. Now, to continue was tsuzukeru. So let's take a look. What was the kanji with the reading of tsuzu? So it's this radical. It it pops up quite a few times. You'll see it, for example, in the color green as well as the color purple, that radical. So this has a reading of tsuzu, and then we just put keru at the end. Now, I actually learned something pretty interesting the other day, or actually this morning. If we go to the grammar section, so when you have a kanji, there's sometimes some hiragana at the end, and that's called okurigana, right? So in this case, this would be classified as okurigana. So yeah, that's just, nice to know, I suppose. So let's put that there. Okurigana. Tsuzukeru. So we'll submit that, and of course we took a look at the answer, so classify that as incorrect. And I think actually what I'll do to start off with this topic, perhaps if I practice just recognizing the romaji. So what I might do is I'll swap the languages and see if I know the English translation. From there, I'll try and recognize the kanji. Once I've recognized the kanji, I can then practice the stroke order to kind of familiarize myself with this list. So kaeru was to change. Tsuzukeru was to, was that to continue? Ryori suru. Is that to cook? Nomu is to drink. Setsume suru. Now, of course, suru turns a noun into a verb, but it's to explain. Kanjiru is to feel. Now, what is oeru? Oeru might be to finish. Ah, okay. So now we're getting into this interesting thing. So this is to finish, but it's intransitive. And I was trying to write an article about this today. So apparently in Japanese, you've got transitive and intransitive verbs. So, for example, oeru means to finish, and it's transitive. So that means you've got the subject, so that's the person or the individual that's doing the verb, and they do that verb on a, I think it's direct object. So in this example, you have gakusei ga shukudai o oeru. So gakusei is the subject that is performing the verb oeru on the direct object shukudai, which is the homework. And then, of course, like let's say you say, the movie will finish. The movie is kind of finishing on its own. There's no subject that is applying the verb on a direct object. And so in that case, you would use owaru. So there are two ways of saying to finish in Japanese, depending on if it's transitive or intransitive. And apparently that's the case with a bunch of verbs. So okay, enough rambling. So tsukareru is to get tired. Noboru is to go up, as in to go climbing. Is this to listen to? Oh, to hear. Yeah, close enough. Manabu is to learn. Good morning. Wait. Ohayo gozaimasu. O genki desu ka? Yeah, thank you so much. The changes that I was making was based on some of the feedback that you've been giving me. So I've kind of cleaned up verbs 1 through 3. So yeah, basically that's with this like transitive, intransitive stuff. I kind of came across that because of some of your feedback. So thank you so much. Now, Okay, so kaeru is to change. Have we applied random ordering? No, we haven't. Okay, tsukeru was to continue. Ah, this is kind of annoying. I'm gonna open a new tab, lingo command. Okay, so we were doing verbs 3. Swap the languages, and we're just practicing the words. So kaeru was to change. Tsukeru is to continue. Ryori suru was to cook. Oh, and so I looked into this. So of course you have to make, because like you, for example, you do the same in English. When you talk about food, you're like, oh, I made this meal. Whilst ryori suru is like, I cooked this meal. It's a bit more formal, I suppose. But of course, I think to make was already, it's tsukeru? Or no? Tsukuru. Tsukuru is to make. Yeah. So this is more often like used when you're just talking about, oh, I made a meal. But if you want to say like specifically, I cooked something, you could use ryori suru, I believe. Okay, so nomu was to drink. So then this is to explain. Kanjuru is to feel. Awesome. And then oeru is to finish, transitive. This is to finish in transitive. Tsukareru is to feel tired. To get tired. This is a shame because it does like this text match. Perhaps I'll take a screenshot and allow some more alternative readings. Now, noboru is, what was that? To go up is in to go climbing. Okay, this is to hear. Manabu is to learn. Konomu, I think, is to like, prefer. Kiku. So this has you have to ask and then you have to listen to. Miru is to look at or to see. Harau is what, to pay. Asobu is to play. Mamoru, okay, this is to protect, but it can also mean to like obey the rules or to like to follow the rules. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this might have to, this is a small bug as well. That should be considered correct, I think. So uru, what's that? Okay, that's to sell. And then iroko suru is to travel, presumably. Okay. So one thing that's been helping me, of course, is that this is essentially in alphabetical order. So we're going to apply random ordering. That scrambles the order in which the questions are asked, making this a little bit harder. So noboru was to go up, as in climbing. Uru was to sell. Setsume suru is to explain. Harau is to pay. Nomu is to drink. Konomu is to feel, no, to like / prefer. Tsukareru is to get tired. Ryoko suru is to travel. And then owaru is, funny that despite applying random ordering that these two are kind of back to back. So this is to finish. Intransitive. So for example, eiga ga owaru. Like the movie will finish. And the movie is the subject. Owaru is the verb, and there is no direct object upon which the there is no direct object upon which the verb is applied. And so then oeru is to finish transitive. And what was the example that I had? It was something like gakusei ga shukudai o oeru. I'm getting the words slightly wrong here. Let's see. Gakusei ga shukudai o no, actually that was correct. Fine. So let's continue. Rori suru is to cook. Kikoiru is to hear. Asobu is to play. Tsuzukeru is to continue. Kairu is to change. Kiku is to listen to. Miru is to look at. Kanjiru is to feel. Mamoru is to protect / obey. And manabu is to learn. Okay, that's better. What did we get wrong here? Uru is to sell. So I think one thing I want to investigate is for tsuzukeru, I've noticed that the kanji you have for zu is actually tsu with dakuten. So let's ask DeepSeek. So tsuzukeru means to what? To continue? But why use tsu with dakuten that has romaji equivalent of du but is pronounced zu? So why is the romaji not tsu? Du keru pronounced tsuzukeru. This is an excellent observation and gets at a key quirk of Japanese romanization. The short answer is the word is etymologically and kana-wise tsuzukeru, not tsudukeru. The zu sound comes from the kana du, not zu. So I don't know what this word means. In a manner relating to the origin, history, or development of words. Fine. The rule of rendaku, sequential voicing. So Hepburn, which is the most common form, prioritizes pronunciation. So the point is that if you write tsudukeru, it's confusing for people. Okay, so we're literally just writing Z because it's confusing otherwise. Fine. So I think what would be nice would be to practice the kanji. I think what I'll do here is undo random ordering, swap the columns, and I'm going to select perhaps the first 10 verbs. We can be a bit more, we can select more verbs when we're just reading, I think. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 verbs. We'll hide the rest. And we're going to apply random ordering here, swap the languages. And this hiragana that comes after the kanji, it's called okurigana, I think. Let's see. Okurigana. So we can also use the okurigana to kind of guess the word. So this is jiru. Kanjiru, okay. I think this is nomu, to drink. And then this might be to get tired, which was, let's see, if we go to verbs 3, to get tired, it's a reading of tsukareru. So this has a reading of tsuka. Now, I think this might be something like ryoko suru, which is to travel. It's setsume suru. So it's to explain. This was the kanji, so let's zoom in here. This was the kanji where the top radical looks a little bit like the one that is in red. And then we've seen this radical as well. And actually, I remember what this is. This is to change, kairu. And then this has that radical that you see in green and purple. So this might be to change, to continue. Tsuzuke. This is just to finish. And then this surely is to finish intransitive, because usually intransitive, usually the kanji is the same, but the okurigana is different for transitive, intransitive pairs. Okay, so this might actually be ryori suru. And notice that we're kind of familiar with this kanji from rikai suru, because the easier way to say to understand is, I think, wakaru. But for rikai suru, which is like to understand a concept deeply, to comprehend, we've kind of come across that kanji before. So this does have a reading of ri, which means it's not ryoko suru, it's probably rori suru, which is to cook. And then no idea what this is. And also no idea. Oh, could this be tsuzukeru, which is then to continue? Okay, fantastic. So this is kanjiru, to feel. This one is oeru, which is to finish, but the transitive form. And then this is to go up, as in climbing, which was noboru. So this has a reading of nobo. So we're gonna reset this quiz. We'll reapply random ordering. And this is ryori suru, which is to cook. This is setsume suru, which is to explain. This is kanjiru, which is to feel. This is tsuzukeru, which is to continue. And then this is the kanji, which is like to finish, but it's eru at the end. So this is to finish transitive, meaning that the verb is being applied on a direct object by the subject. So the student finished the homework, if that makes sense. Transitive. And to just scroll down and find the other one, which is also mean to finish. So this one would be to finish in transitive. As in, the movie will finish. So this is kairu, which is to change. This is to get tired, which is tsukareru. Yeah, tsukareru.
疲れる。疲れる。
Tsukareru. And then this is nomu, which is to drink. And then what is this? Could this be this is to go up, as in climbing. Okay, I think we're ready to add another 10 verbs. So let's undo random ordering. We'll zoom out. And we're just going to select actually, what we'll do is do the whole list because I think it's about 20 verbs now. Yeah, because for example, with 夕食を食べる, so 夕食 is I think it means like dinner. 夕食を食べる. Yeah, so apparently 夕食 is like based on more like a Chinese word, and so it's like more formal, like something you'd see at like a restaurant. And like I think it's like 朝食 or 昼食を食べる is like to eat breakfast, but more casually you'd say like 朝ごはんを食べる. And because I'm like focusing on verbs here, 朝ごはん is just like a noun, it's like breakfast, so we don't really need to have those verbs in our list, so I've just taken them completely out. So with that said, let's try this list of verbs. So I'll apply random ordering. So this is to go up, as in climbing. This is nomu, which is to drink. And then this kanji here, let's come back to that one. I think this is setsume suru, which is to explain. This might be tsukareru, which is to get tired. Kiku is to listen to. Come back to that one. Now, this is ryori suru, which means to cook. And then this is tsuzukeru, which is to continue. Now this is kind of interesting. Kikoiru is because this kanji is a reading of ki. We also see it in kiku, just to listen to. But what does that mean? Kikoiru, is it to answer? It's to hear. This is to change. Miru, this kanji is a reading of mi. Miru is to look at. And this might be mamoru, to protect / obey. Of course, in English, to protect and to obey are two separate things, but use the same word in Japanese. This is kanjiru, which is to feel. I think this is asobu, which is like to play. Now, I remember this kanji here. It comes up in school, which is gakko. So there, this kanji had a reading of ga with sokon at the end. And what do you do at a school? You learn. So I'm thinking that this is manabu, to learn, and that it just has a different reading here. Okay, so this kanji here is the kanji for to finish. And then this is owaru, so this is a reading of o, owaru, so it's to finish. But is it transitive or is it intransitive? It's intransitive. This might be to like or prefer, but I forgot the reading. Let's take a look at the reading. So we'll go to vocab, go to verbs 3. To like or prefer is konomu, konomu. And then this kanji here is obviously oeru, which is to finish. Transitive. And this is, what's that? To sell. And then this is to pay. And then that one is to travel. Ryoko suru. Okay, so let's reapply random ordering, and we'll go from scratch. So kikoiru is to hear. And I think the distinguishment between to hear and to listen to, it's like to listen to is like when you're actively listening, like let's say to someone talk, whilst when you hear a car drive by, you might use kikoiru. So okay, this is to listen to. So like you're actively listening. This is ryoko suru. So I'm guessing that this has a reading of ryo, and then this is a reading of ko for total of ryoko suru, which is to travel. This is konomu, which is to like or prefer. This kanji has a reading of tsuka, so it's tsukareru, which is to get tired. This kanji has a reading of o. This is owaru, which is to finish, but it's the intransitive verb. So that means that this applies without a direct object. So for example, the movie finished or the movie will finish, you'd use owaru. Also, if you say, oh, the student finished the homework, then you'd use oeru because the student is finishing the homework. So it's being applied on the direct object, which is the homework. In any case, this is nomu, which is to drink. And there's something interesting. So we've got this radical here on the left, which is a total of 8 strokes. And that is, I think, also in the kanji for like, with a reading of kan, which I think means like castle, building, or house. So I don't really know why that is, but it's interesting. This might be suzukeru, which is to continue. Okay, this is ryori suru, which is to cook. This is manabu, which is to learn. Miru is to look at. This is kanjiru, which is to feel. This is kairu, which is to change. This is mamoru, to protect. Can also mean to obey. Like to follow the rules, to obey the rules. Now this here is to finish again. This is oeru. But this time is transitive. They look very similar. Yeah, so what I was wondering is, of course, the kanji in nomu with the reading of no has like the first 8 strokes, and then you've got 9, 10, 11, 12. That's different. And then, I don't know if this is correct, but to me, in my eyes, from what I'm seeing, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is that kanji for nomu. And then the one with the reading of kan has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So what I was wondering was, if you consider this a radical and you consider that a radical, I think those 2 parts are identical, right? And it's just that this 4 strokes and these 8 are different. In any case, this might be asobu, to play. Setsumei suru is to explain. What could this be? Okay. Awesome. So I think that this is to go up, as in climbing, which was like noboru. Yeah, I think this has a reading of nobo. Let's just check. To go up, as in climbing, is indeed noboru. No worries at all. It's it was useful to kind of confirm what's what with you. So I think this might be to pay. And then this is to sell. And presumably you've got a transitive and intransitive form of to sell, right? Because if an object is sold, like the potato was sold versus I sold the potato to Jack, that would be different as well. Okay, so we're now getting 100% when reading the kanji. Now we're going to step up to trying to write the kanji. So what we want to do is want to get the question posed in English. We'll handwrite our answers. And I think for now, we're not going to apply random ordering because I want that repetition. So to change this kaeru, and the kanji with the reading of ka, I think might be 1. Now what we can do, of course, here is skip the furigana. Well, no, let's just do the whole thing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so this is a reading of ka. And then the o kurigana. I like using that phrase. The grammar. Let's go to the bottom section here. Yeah, the o kurigana is just eru. And then to continue is tsuzukeru. So the kanji of the reading of tsuzu is, okay, so we get this radical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that pops up over and over, and then it's 8, is it 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Okay, so this was correct. It's just that this has 6 strokes, not 7. So this is a reading of tsuzu. Tsuzu. And then we put our romaji here, or our hiragana. Okay, to cook is ryori suru. And the kanji, the reading of ri, we've come across this before in rikai suru. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now we just need the kanji with the reading of ri, right? Of ryo. So let's take a look. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kanji strokes. 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's practice that again. The kanji of the reading of ryo in ryori suru is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's quite tricky. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This kanji is a reading of ryo. And for tsuzukeru, just to continue, the kanji with reading of tsuzu was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So okay, let's start from scratch. So to continue is tsuzukeru. And the kanji, the reading of tsuzu, is this radical that's popped up quite a few times. It's got 6 strokes. Then it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this has a reading of tsuzu. And then we zoom out, we put keru, our okurigana. So to continue in Japanese is tsuzukeru. Tsuzukeru. To cook was ryori suru. And the kanji with the reading of ryo was 10 strokes in total. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a little bit more horizontal, that stroke. 9, 10. And then the kanji with the reading of ri is the same one in rikai suru. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll zoom out here and we'll write our furigana, the readings of these kanji. So this is an interesting yun combination. I'm guessing you're going to write ri followed by a half-sized yo to get ryo. Yeah, surely. And then you put a u there. And then this is a reading of ri. And then we just write suru for a total of rori suru, which is to cook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This kanji is also a match. Our furigana is matching, of course. This is the typed version of ri. This is the handwritten version of ri. So accept that, and then we'll go on to drink. So to drink was nomu. Now, the first 8 strokes are the same one that you see in the kanji with the reading of kan, which is like building, castle, house, I think. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if I recall correctly, this radical that you see that pops up quite a few times, like for example, hoshi is to want or to desire. And that one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this radical, we've seen a couple of times now. So together, this is nomu. Nomu. So this is a reading of no. And then this is a reading of mu. For a total of nomu. Okay, so that was fine. Now here's where it gets very tricky. So to explain is setsu mei suru. Now there are 2 kanji. Could it be that this one has a reading of setsu and this one has a reading of mei? Let's see. So this is 1, 2, 3. Setsu. And then me looks like this. This is an I. We put suru here. Okay, so our furigana was correct. As for the kanji, we start off with this radical, 7 strokes. And then it's 8, 9, mouth radical, and then this thing. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 strokes. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 strokes. And then here, it's 2 radicals that we're already familiar with. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's try the whole thing without looking. So to explain is setsu mei suru. Setsumei suru. Now, the kanji with the reading of setsu is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the kanji with the reading of mei is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then this has a reading of setsu. And then this has a reading of mei. For a total of setsume suru. So that was good. And then to feel, of course, is kanjiru. The question is, what's the kanji with the reading of kan? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I think there are a couple of things with this kanji with the reading of kan, which is 13 strokes. And these bottom 4 strokes is a pattern or a radical, I guess, that we've seen before, where the second stroke kind of wraps around the third. As for strokes 1 and 2, when you go to hairo, which is gray, directly translated as ash color, that kanji has, I was hoping that this has the same stroke order as here, but it's actually inverted. So let's try that again. To feel is kanjiru. And this is the first stroke, that's the second. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is a reading of kan. And then here we're going to put our hiragana, jiru. So to feel is kanjiru. Okay, so this actually, it goes from top left to bottom right instead of top right to bottom left. So okay, we'll classify that as incorrect. And once you run into travel again, ryoko, you have the same minor pronunciation issue with Toshokan. It's ryoko, not ryoko. I see. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Let's just see what's going on here.
旅行する
Okay, so what's happened
旅
here
行する
is the text to speech is fine. I'm just not listening or reading. I'm just completely ignoring. Because I think actually, yeah, notice as well, there is no you here. So it's just, I'm just making stuff up. I'm just adding this you here in my mind, but it's not actually there. So that's great. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I think what I'd like to do is go over verbs 1 and 2 as well. And so I've made some adjustments there as well. So to be here is for animate objects and inanimate objects. Made some couple of fixes there. But let's study this. So I'm going to apply random ordering. So to have is motsu. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So motsu is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has a reading of mo. And then we put tsu here for a total of motsu, which means to have. Okay, so this is correct, except I've got it selected as hiragana and katakana. So let's just see if that kanji is a match. Yeah, that's what I wrote. So classify that as incorrect and proceed to the next one. So to be able to is dekiru. And that has a reading of, that has no kanji. So we're just going to write our hiragana. Dekiru. To place is oku. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this has a reading of O, Ku. Okay, so this kanji is a reading of O, and we put Ku here in hiragana. So to speak or talk is hanasu. And the kanji with the reading of hana is just this radical with a total of 7 strokes, followed by 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is a reading of hana. And we put su. To understand. Oh, so this is actually interesting. So I used to have to understand as rikai suru, but now it should be wakaru. And the question is, what's the kanji? So this was good revision, actually. I'm presuming that the kanji is a reading of waka. So that's wa, ka, and then we put ru here in hiragana. Okay, actually that's wrong. So it's got a reading of wa, and then you put karu as your okurigana, the hiragana after kanji. So let's take a look. This kanji is a total of 4 strokes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty simple. And when you have verbs that just have a single kanji, that kanji usually means the same as the verb itself. So this kanji just means to understand, I believe. So this has a reading of wa, and then we just put ka, ru, and of course, to understand, we'll put this in English here as well, or in Romaji. So this is wakaru. Now, of course, we took a look at the answer earlier, so we'll classify that as incorrect and go to the next question. So to see in Japanese, well, that's miru. Miru, and the kanji for that, it's kind of, in my mind, quite easy to remember because this kanji means to see, and the first 5 strokes forms the kanji for I, which is what you use to see. Yeah, I've heard that because rikai suru, that's like I don't know. I kind of imagine like Pain from Naruto to say that when he's talking about how the world works, It's not like a casual use of to understand, like how you pointed out. So this has a reading of mi, ru, so classify that as correct. And then if someone's like that's exactly it. Okay, awesome. So to be for inanimate objects is, the question is it iru or is it aru? Because the way that I remember it was, so there's some interesting theory here. So you have iru and you've got aru. And I initially said, this is temporary and that's permanent. But that's actually about something completely different. When you have like a verb and you put like the te form and then you stick iru or aru at the end, that then makes the verb temporary or permanent, I think. Whilst on their own, I think you would say like, oh, that bunny is white. Then you would use the to be animate, whilst if you said the wall was white, you'd use to be inanimate, obviously, because a wall is inanimate and a bunny is animate. But the question is, what way round is this? I'm going to go with inanimate is iru, because iru is temporary. Life. Okay, let's just put iru, see what happens. It's either iru or aru, and it's aru. Now, aru was to be... I'm going to leave this alone for now. To go is iku, and the kanji with the reading of I is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this has a reading of I. And then this is ku, for a total of iku. To eat is taberu, taberu. And the kanji with the reading of ta. So here you got to be careful, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you would think, right? Because you've kind of seen this radical before, but it's actually not. It's 8, 9. So in, for example, nomu, this is the kanji. And so this radical and this kanji, they look very similar. But this has a total of 9 strokes, that has a total of 8. And so that was a mistake that I used to make, where I got them kind of mixed up in my mind. In any case, this has a reading of ta, then this has a reading of be, and then we put ru there for a total of taberu. Taberu. To say or tell is iu, and here we're just going to use this radical that's been popping up over and over. Now, it might actually just mean to say or tell, that kanji on its own, because of course, when you have verbs with just one kanji, usually that kanji just means the verb. And then this is hoshi, which is to want. So for this kanji, we're just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is a reading of ho. And then we put our okurigana, the hiragana at the end. Is that right? Okurigana? I think it is. Yeah. So that's a match. Fantastic. And then we're on to give. So to give is ageru. Ageru. And this has no kanji. So we're just going to write ke. We apply dakuten. Ke goes to ji. Ke becomes ge. We put ru there for a total of ageru, to give. And then to believe is shinjiru. And the kanji with the reading of shin is 1, 2, and then it's just that radical, which I guess means to say or tell. And this is something worth exploring actually on DeepSeek. So to say or tell uses what kanji? Okay, cool. That kanji appears in so many verbs for kanji. Is it also considered a radical? What is going on? Okay, so it's also a radical. It's radical 149 in the Kangxi system. When it's placed on the left, it contracts visually like this. And it's often used for any kanji relating to words, speech, or language. Fantastic. So, a bit strange that it's in shinjuru, which is to believe. But, for example, hanasu, which is to speak or tell, or to talk or to speak, there it does make sense that it's used. In any case, let's submit our answer and move on to the next one. So to do is suru. Okay, let's put our romaji in black and our hiragana in blue. There are no kanji for suru. Fantastic. And I remember that aru was permanent and iru was temporary. This is when you conjugate with this te form stuff, supposedly. So what I'm thinking is, what if life, right? Life is temporary. And so animate objects are temporary. And so using that reasoning, this might be iru. And then we sort of have like this kind of internal consistency where stuff kind of makes sense. Because then we can relate to be animate objects and to be inanimate objects with adding iru and aru at the end of the te form of verbs. And this might be actually worth maybe I forgot to mention, but just to clarify, a lot of the vocab corrections I wrote were just more about frequent practical vocab. Most of the vocab you had was basically the same meaning. It's just that they are a lot less frequent. I was so grateful for those corrections because at the end of the day, like for example, wakaru, if it's used way more often, of course you want to use that and not rikai suru. So thank you so much. Like, because what I did, of course, when I went through these, so I've done verbs 1 through 3, made the corrections for those. And I would kind of like study why the substitution was made. And so, I'd ask DeepSeek, like, explain what's the difference between what you'd suggested and what I had. And 9 out of 10 times it had to do with, either perhaps the word was straight up wrong or it was not applicable in 9 out of 10 situations, or it was just infrequently used. So thank you so much. So aru and iru mean to be for inanimate objects and animate objects respectively. But iru or aru and iru are also added to the te form of verbs, right? Making the verbs permanent or temporary respectively. Would it be wrong to consider this internally consistent since inanimate objects are essentially permanent and animate objects are not? It's a little bit strange reasoning. I guess inanimate objects can also be destroyed, but let's see. And yes, you're absolutely right to see that connection. It's not just internally consistent. It's a deep and elegant logic that native speakers feel intuitively but rarely articulate. Let me validate and clarify your insight. So to exist, aru for things, plants, objects. Iru is for people, animals, and living things. Philosophical flavor, permanent, static, unchanging, temporary, dynamic, changing. So why are plants considered inanimate? Grammatical categories don't always match biological reality. Okay, plants basically, they don't really move. So they just classified it as stuff that's like permanent. Interesting. Let's move on to the next one. So to sleep is neru, and the kanji of the reading of ne in neru, I think it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hold on now. That doesn't quite seem right. Because I think there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So could it be 1, 2, 3, Yeah, it's starting to come back to me. So to sleep is neru. And the kanji with the reading of ne is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so this is a reading of ne. And then this is a reading of ru for a total of neru. Cool. So to make is tsukuru. Tsukuru. So the kanji, the reading of tsuku. So this can also be, as Pei LMAO pointed out, it's frequently used when you're talking about like, instead of using the word rori suru when you're talking about cooking, you can also say like, tsukuru, like I made the meal, or I made the pasta dish, whatever. So this is tsuku. Kanji with reading of tsuku. It's got a total of 7 strokes. And then we're on to find. So to find is mitsukeru. Ryoko suru. Ryoko suru. So the ryo is a short vowel. Ryoko suru. Mitsukeru. Okay, so the kanji with the reading of ni is just, we've seen this before. It's that kanji from I with 2 more strokes at the bottom. So this has a reading of mi. And then it's tsu. Hold on now. Tsukeru. So to find is mitsukeru. There we go. Now to call, and this is to call someone over or to invite someone over. Like, hey, come here. Would be yobu. Yobu. And the kanji with the reading of yo in yobu is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a reading of yo. And then this has a reading of fu. We apply dakuten to get bu. So to call someone is yobu. Yobu. Now our kanji is a match. Everything is matching, so we'll move on to the next question. So to come is kuru, kuru, and the kanji with the reading of ku in kuru is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has a reading of ku, and then we just put ru there in hiragana, kuru. To know information, so this is shiru. Oh, by the way, so to know personally, we had like shiteiru, right? And I noticed that the kanji in shiteiru was the same as the one in shiru, and it turns out that shiteiru is just presumably the te form of shiru with iru at the end. So it's like temporary, like knowing, I suppose. And that basically means we're not really adding value in this vocab list. It's just some conjugation of shiru. So I removed that one as well, just because I think that would be better. So in any case, to know information, so the kanji for that is going to be 1, 2, 3. Now I always used to make this mistake where the 4th stroke, I'd write it above the 2nd, but that's incorrect. What you want to do is you want to start it there. That's the 4th stroke, that's the 5th, and then it's a mouth radical here for a total of 8 strokes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This kanji is a reading of shi. And then we just put ru there for a total of shiru, which is to know information. So that looks correct, so we'll give that a pass. And I'm going to proceed to the next question. So to arrive, this was a correction that I made, because I used to have that to arrive was also kuru, but that's not really right. To arrive, turns out, is tsuku, tsuku. Now, what's interesting is that kanji that we just saw, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here it's got a reading of tsu, put ku there. Of course, I looked at the answer, so we'll classify as incorrect, but we should almost ask, like, what is the meaning of this kanji? Because what is the meaning of this kanji? It's used in shitagi, underwear, has a reading of gi. It's used in kiru, to wear clothes. So like to wear. And then it's also used in kiku, to arrive. What's going on? You stumbled upon the most fascinating and multi-faced kanji in Japanese. You're right to be confused. It means to wear and arrive, and that it's used in underwear makes sense. Underwear is a type of clothes. Fine. Original meaning is sheep's eye. From that one core idea, several related meanings branched out. So this kanji can mean clothes attached to your body. You reach a destination. I just don't get what this kanji has to do with arriving at a destination. Why sheep plus I radical equal arrive? The answer is that you're looking at the wrong components. The real origin is not sheep plus, it's a false friend. Ohayo, o genki desu ka, Ken-san? Ima, which I think means now. We could even check that. Does ima mean now? Ima, yeah. In any case, it's 1:45 here. So I guess I don't know what time it is in Japan, but I'll say konnichiwa. I think in Japan it's later, so for you it's probably like konbanwa. Hi? Is that right? Okay, so we took a look at the answer here, so I'm going to classify this as incorrect. And then to put on is tsukeru. Tsukeru, this has no kanji, so we're just going to write our hiragana, tsukeru. And to read is yomu. Yomu. Yes, so it's 12:45. 12:45. So it's noontime. And the kanji of the reading of yo is... So this is quite strange because we just found out that this kanji means... Let me write this more neatly. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's the kanji of the reading of yo in yomu. But we just found out that this kanji means to say or tell. Like that's what that... It's also used as a radical. And I guess when you're reading, maybe you read out loud, so you're like speaking, so that's why that radical is there. In any case, let's submit our answer. So I think what I'd like to do here is go again. And the main thing to realize, like the mistakes that I'd made was, okay, so this is wakaru, the kanji is a reading of wa, it's got 4 strokes, fine. This is, aru is for inanimate objects. They're permanent, essentially, from a philosophical point of view. And then here we're using the same kanji that which means to wear, but here it means, I guess, to arrive as well. And here it's got a reading of tsu. So let's go through the whole thing one more time. To want is hoshi. The kanji with the reading of ho is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's got a reading of ho. Hoshi, to want. To see is miru. And the kanji with the reading of mi, we're just going to use this radical, which means I. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here, this kanji is a reading of mi. We put ru there for total of miru. And then we're going to go to put on. So to put on is tsukeru. Tsukeru. And the kanji with the reading of so actually this has no kanji. So we're just going to write furigana. So this is tsukeru. So let's just submit that. And then we'll go to the next one. So to understand deeply or to comprehend is rikai suru, but the more casual use that's used like daily is wakaru. And the kanji with the reading of wa is a total of 4 strokes, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has a reading of wa. And then we put our hiragana at the end. So this is karu for a total of wakaru, which is to understand. Fantastic. So that's a match. And then we'll proceed to the next one. So to arrive was... The question is, was it tsuku? Tsuku. I think it might be. And then we're just going to use the kanji, which means to arrive or to wear clothes, depending on the situation. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this has a reading of tsu. And I think it's ku at the end here. Fantastic. It does indeed have 12 strokes. And Pei Ameo pointed out, I think you should completely forget about temporary permanent of iru and aru. I'm not sure where you heard that, but it is an actual Japanese grammar. Technically, teiru and aru are 2 completely separate grammar points, but don't bother with that for now. You'll learn the grammar later. Just forget temporary versus permanent. I see. It is a bit confusing because I don't even really understand this teiru form, so I should probably stick to concepts that I understand, where it's like rikai suru, you know, like I comprehend it properly. So thank you for pointing that out. I will take your advice in this regard and just say that aru is inanimate and iru is animate. It's hard because this permanent and temporary is, I've done it so many repetitions. It's like ingrained in my brain. But in any case, yomu is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This has a reading of yol. Okay, yomu. To be inanimate objects, that's going to be aru. Okay, that was fairly quick. Aru. To go is iku. And of course, the kanji with the reading of I in iku is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we've got a reading of I. We put ku there. And then we're going to go to say or tell. So this kanji means to say or tell. It's got a total of 7 strokes. And it pops up all the time as a radical in different verbs. It's got a reading of I in this case. And we put a U there. Iu. To sleep is neru. Neru. And the kanji with the reading of ne is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is kind of sloppy. I want to write this more neatly. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this has a reading of ne, and then this has a reading, we just put ru here in hiragana. Now to come is kuru, and the kanji for that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a reading of ku, and then we just put ru there. And then to do is suru. Suru, so the kanji of the reading of, this has no kanji, actually. So we'll just put suru. And that means to do. Now, to know information, right? So that's going to be shiru. And the kanji with reading of shiru, or with a reading of shi. So 1, 2. The third stroke is wider than the second. The fourth stroke starts at the middle of the second stroke. Just like that. And then this goes down here, and then you put a mouth radical here. So that's 6, 7, 8. This has a reading of shi. Shi, and then we'll just zoom out. Right, root there. Fantastic. So to believe is shinjiru. And the kanji with the reading of shin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has a reading of shin, and then we just put ji ru, shinjiru. And then to be for animate objects, that's just going to be iru. And this has no kanji. Now to place is Is that oku? Yeah. And the kanji with, because to put on was tsukeru. To place is oku. Surely. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This stroke here, it actually starts over here. I used to write it all the way up there. It's not quite right. So that is a reading of o. I'm worried now. To place and to put on. To place is this. Yeah. To call is yobu. Yobu. So the kanji with the reading of yo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this has a reading of, but I don't think the proportions are quite right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this section over here should be a lot larger than the mouth radical. So this is a reading of yo. And then we'll put fu, apply ductin to get bu for a total of yobu. So that's looking good. So past that. Then we're on to give. So to give is ageru. Ageru. And the kanji with the reading of, there is no kanji for ageru, actually. So we put ke, we apply dakuten to get ge. Now, to be able to is dekiru. Dekiru. And this also has no kanji. So we'll write te, apply dakuten to get de. Then we put ki. And then we put ru. To be able to. And then to have, well, that's motsu, right? The kanji with the reading of mo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This has a reading of mo. and then we put tsu there. To eat is taberu. The kanji, the reading of ta is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a reading of ta. That is be. And then this is ru. Taberu, to eat. To find is mitsukeru. Mitsukeru. The kanji with the reading of mi is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can write that more neatly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a reading of mi. And then you just put tsu, ke, ru. Just to find. Sorry about that. Okay, so to speak or talk is hanasu. Hanasu. And this one makes a lot of sense, right? Because you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this radical, it's often used for like word kanji relating to speech or language. And of course, the speak or talk is in that flavor. So that's why we've got this radical here, which just means to say or tell. And then this is the 8th stroke. That's the 9th. That's the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th stroke. So this just has a reading of hana, and then we put su. To make is tsukuru. And the kanji with the reading of tsuku is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has a reading of tsuku. We put ru there. So we'll save this. So this is like our latest version of verbs 1, which we've now completed on the 25th of April 2026. So I think now is the perfect time to proceed to the verbs 2 list. And the question is, were any changes made? I think the changes were made. They were made, but I've done one round of studying since then already. So this should go okay. So let's try this whole quiz. We're going to handwrite our answers and make a start. So to begin is hajimeru. Hajimeru. And the kanji with the reading of haji is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is what's tricky, is there are 2 shapes here. I think the one at the bottom is the mouth radical. And then there's like 2 strokes here. And this whole thing is a reading of haji. Yeah, okay. So this looks a lot like the mu from katakana. And so my intuition was right. There were 2 strokes here, but it's unfortunate. To answer is kotaeru, and I believe that the kanji for that might be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this has a reading of kota. and we put eru at the end. Taeru. Okay, so the 7th and 8th stroke here are a bit too wide, but it's recognizable. We'll give it a pass. And then we're on to order a product. So that's 주문 suru. 주문 suru. And the kanji with the reading of chu has 8 strokes. It looks like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the kanji with the reading of mon is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we're just going to write chi followed by half-sized u. Put one more u there for chu, and then this is mon, and then we just put suru. To buy, of course, is kao. The question is, what's the kanji? How did I forget this? Oh god. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is a reading of ka. And then we put a u there for a total of kao. We took a look at the answer, so we'll classify that as incorrect. Now to look for is sagasu. Sagasu. You tend to use this, I think, for when you're looking for, but you haven't found it yet. So you're like in the process. Whilst mitsukeru is like it's being found. So sagasu, the kanji for that. So we have this radical here. This is 1, 2, 3. And then the kanji here is 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so the kanji with the reading of saga is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is a reading of, and we can clean up that bottom radical a little bit. That's better. So this is a reading of saga. Sa. And then here we're going to write ka. We apply dakuten. K goes to G, so ka becomes ga. And then we just put su there. And that's a match. So we're going to classify that as correct and proceed to the next question. So to sing is utau. And the kanji with the reading of uta, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, and then it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this has a total of 14 strokes, and it's got a reading of u, ta, and then you just put a u here, and yeah, so this is a match, so that's good news. Oh, thank you, Speedy Dennis. I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you. So to open, is that akeru? In any case, I think the kanji is something like this. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a reading of a, and I do remember that the okurigana, that's the hiragana that comes after the kanji, is indeed just keru. Okurigana, yeah, okurigana. Yeah, so this is just another match. So that's great news. And then we can proceed to close. So to close, I believe, is ojiru. And presumably there's going to be some transitive and intransitive form or verbs for to close, because a door can close by itself. But then, of course, I can close the door. And so then I am the subject that applied the verb close on the direct object, which is the door. But this is one of the two. Oh, and of course, let's just start with writing the kanji. So it's just going to be the same kind of shape again. But instead of writing this thing here, this radical 4 strokes, what you're going to do instead is essentially write o in katakana. You shouldn't really think of it like that, but just these 3 strokes. So this is a reading of o. And I believe this should be correct. So let's take a look. I think to close is ojiru. And it turns out this is wrong. the kanji was correct, but the furigana was wrong. So this is actually tojiru. So classify this as incorrect, but we were very close. To lose is makeru. And the kanji with the reading of ma. I remember that there was this shape like going on, and then I think there was some stuff at the bottom. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. So I think what you do is you write these 2 strokes. This is the 3rd stroke. That's the 4th. 5, 6, 7, and then it's 8, 9. So this is a reading of ma. And then we're going to zoom out. We're going to put ke here. We put ru there for a total of makeru, which is to lose. And that's not to lose an item. That's to lose a competition, I believe. So our 9 strokes are a match. Everything seems to be good. So we're going to go to the next one, which is to bring, which is mo te kuru. Now, this is kind of interesting because I think what's actually going on is this is the kanji with the reading of mo, right? And motsu is to have. And so I think this is like some conjugation thing where you've taken the dictionary form of motsu, removed the tsu, so mo is the stem. Or no? Yeah, and then you put te on top and then kuru. There's some type of grammar theory, I think, going on here, but for now that's a little bit beyond the scope of this stream. Or at least, yeah, of what I'm trying to achieve for today. So this is mo, and here we're just going to place sokon. We put a te, so this is mo te, and then we just need kuru. So we remember the kanji for that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of ku, and then we put ru there for a total of motte kuru. So everything's a match. So that's great. So we'll go to the next question, which is to ask. So to ask is kiku, which can also mean like to listen to, but what you're going to do here is write the kanji. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try and clean up the shape here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to write the radical or the kanji basically for ear. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, that you're using the radical for ear into ask doesn't really make sense. But when you remember that to ask and to listen to have the same kanji with the reading of ki, to listen to, of course, you'd use your ear. So that's how I'm kind of making these associations in my mind. Now, this is ki. Put ku there. And it's a match. So we'll proceed to the next question, which is ikiru. To live is ikiru in Japanese. So what we're going to do here is we're going to write 1, 2, 3. Now you got to be careful here, actually. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this has a reading of E. And then we put our hiragana over here. And we want to check the stroke order. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm betting that the third stroke here is the vertical one. So that was correct, but we've got to be strict here. So the way that I wrote this, the third stroke starts at the middle of the second stroke, which is not really right. We see actually that it goes past. So I'm going to be strict, classify this as incorrect, and I'm going to move on to the next question. So we'll come back to that one. Let's go to wear clothes. So to wear clothes is kiru, and this kanji, it's kind of interesting, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now they're kind of like two kanji in here. So it's like sheep and eyes. And basically the whole thing means like to wear, but it can also mean to arrive. And I don't really know like what the theory is behind it, but basically this kanji can either mean to wear or it can mean to arrive. And to arrive, it has a reading of tsu. Tsuku is to arrive. So this has a reading of ki, and we put ru there for a total of kiru. Now we'll just proceed to the next question. So to need, what is to need? Could it be iru? And then the kanji with the reading of I. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it like 6, 7, 8, 9? I don't think it is. I think it's actually, this is the fifth stroke. And then it's just 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. So it's got a total of 8 strokes. This is a reading of I, and then we put ru there for a total of iru. Okay, I knew something was off here. Or well, I didn't, but it's got a total of 9 strokes. So we're just missing that stroke at the top. So it's good to remember. Now, to work is hataraku. The kanji with the reading of hatara, well, let's think this through. Could it be that I had this whole thing going on here and then it was like 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's come back to that one. Okay, so to carry is into transport in Japanese. That's hakobu. Hakobu. And the kanji with the reading of hako, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This has a reading of hako. And then we just write fu, we apply dakuten to get bu. And we see that our kanjis match. The reading of the kanji is correct. And so we'll proceed to the next question. So to write in Japanese, that's kaku. The kanji with the reading of ka. We've seen this in Toshokan. There it had a reading of, Toshokan, not Toshokan, Toshokan. There it had a reading of shou, And I think I've got this bad habit. If when I see a yun combination, I just stick a u at the end, and then I extend the vowel sound. So I need to be careful of that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a reading of ka. And then we just put ku there for a total of kaku, which is to write. To walk is aruku. Aruku, and the kanji with the reading of aru. Could it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? No. Let's think this through. I think it might be 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. And in fact, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So this is a reading of aru. And then we put a ku there. And I remember that this fifth stroke, it shouldn't really go that far below strokes 6 and 7. So if we're going to be super strict, let's clean that up. So let's make these a little bit lower. Okay, so this is a reading of aru. Okay, so that looks spot on to me, so we'll classify that as correct. Proceed to the next question. So to stand up, well, that's to stand up or to rise, well, that's tatsu. And the kanji with the reading of ta is 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. And this has a reading of ta. We're going to put tsu there for a total of tatsu, which is to stand up. So that's correct. Now, to think is omo, and the kanji with a reading of omo, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's got a reading of omo. And for mo, of course, this is actually the first stroke. Then it's 2, 3. Put a u there. So by the looks of it, definitely still some work to do on verbs too. But we're getting close. So to take, now I remember that in order to remember this, I came up with a sentence which was like to take the air. And so to take is toru, and the kanji with the reading of to has the air radical. So I think at this point we can kind of see how it's a radical, right? It's used in tojiru. It's used here in to take. So it's got to be a radical at this point. And this has a reading of to, and then we just put ru there for a total of toru, which is to take. Now to run is hashiru, and this kanji, it reminds me a little bit of the one for to walk, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's got a total of 7 strokes. This has a reading of hashi. And then we just put ru here in hiragana for a total of hashiru. And our kanji was spot on, so we'll proceed to the next question, and that's ben kyou suru. Now here is, this is tough. This is very tough. What was this? Because my instinct is going here, but what I'm writing at the moment is just byoin, which is wrong. Could it be that this is the kanji used in school? And it's also used for manabu, which is like to learn. But that's also not right. I don't know. Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, so the kanji with the reading of ben is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the kanji with the reading of kyo, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then this has a reading of ben. This has a reading of kyo. We just put suru there. And we'll classify this as incorrect because we took a look at the answer. And that then just leaves us with to dance, which is odoru. I don't remember the kanji for that. It's, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This has a reading of odo. And then we just put ru there for a total of odoru. We'll classify that as incorrect and then proceed to the next question. So to work is hataraku. Okay, I remember now. So the kanji was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this kanji is a reading of hatara. We put ku there. Of course, we looked at the answer, so we'll classify as incorrect. And then we're on to visit. So to visit is tazuneru. This is a personal visit, not a... If a reporter visits a home, they're there on official business. In that case, you'd use homon suru. But here, I think it's a personal visit. And so you'd use tazuneru. And the kanji with the reading of tazu. Let's take a look. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to write this radical, which means to say or tell, followed by 4 more strokes. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. Interesting. So this means, this has a reading of tazu. Tazu. And then you just write in hiragana at the end, neru, for a total of tazuneru, to say or tell, or to visit. So there's definitely some improvement to be made here on the verbs to quiz. So I think on that note, it just makes sense to go again. So to look for is sagasu. Sagasu. And the kanji with the reading of saga looks like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is a radical, that's a radical, that's a radical that we've seen before. So just a combination of shapes we've already seen. And this is sa. This is ka. We applied dakuten to get ga. And then we just put su here for a total of sagasu. Now to stand up in Japanese, well, that's tatsu. And the kanji with the reading of ta, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. This 4th stroke seems to start a little bit higher than the 3rd, but it's got a reading of ta, and then we're just going to put tsu here for a total of tatsu, which means to stand up or to rise. and then to live, right? So to live is ikiru. And in the previous round, I made a mistake here. The kanji, the reading of I, it's 1, 2, and then this is the third stroke, 4, 5. So this third stroke actually starts above the second. Now, it's got a reading of I, and then we're just going to write kiru, ikiru, which means to live, right? So our kanji is a match. It's got a total of 5 strokes indeed. And then we're going to go to the next question. So to carry is into transport. Well, that's just going to be hakobu. And the kanji with the reading of hakobu, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This has a reading of hako, ha, ko, and then we're going to write fu. We apply dakuten to get bu for a total of hakobu, which means to carry or to transport. Now to begin is ha, ji, me, ru, and the kanji with the reading of hajimeru or haji has a total of 8 strokes. So it was this radical followed by that, but there was something here with 4 strokes. What was it? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So this has a reading of haji, haji, and then we just put meru for a total of hajimeru, which is to begin. Now to order a product, well, that's chumon suru. Chumon suru. And the kanji with the reading of chu is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's 1, 2, 3. The kanji of the reading of mon is this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a reading of chi with u forms chu. One more u here, and then this is mon for a total of mon suru, chumon suru. To take is toru. The kanji here is, let's see. So we have the ear radical here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7, 8. So this has a reading of to, and then we put ru here. So to take, because I remember this like mnemonic or this thing that I came up with. I was like, to take the ear. That's how I'm remembering to put the ear radical there. So let's just check that. Yeah, so this is a match. Fantastic. To answer your question, Speedy Dennis, I think, so I've noticed, like, because I built this app and I built it in a way that I like to study. And one thing that I've noticed that really helps me is, so we're currently looking at verbs too, right? And if I just looked at these kanji, for me, I just read it and it doesn't stick in my mind. I find it very difficult. But when I do a quiz and I'm like kind of forced to produce the answer, it makes it a lot more active. And so, you know, I start off easy. Like my first step is, oh, I just want to be able to, for example, see the romaji and then I write the English. And then from there, maybe I'll say, oh, I want to get the question in English and I'll write the romaji. So once I'm familiar with the romaji, I'm like, well, perhaps let me try and read the kanji. So I'll say, let me try and recognize the kanji, which is a lot easier than writing them. And then from there, I'll practice the kanji. And one thing that I like to do there is, you know, you want to get that muscle memory. So you just want to keep practicing writing those kanji. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The shape here is a bit off. So I think this is a little bit more acceptable. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But I'm at least like a firm believer that kind of active recall is super useful when you want to like remember words or remember anything. So don't just like absorb the information like read. You want to put yourself through test after test after test. So that's a match. Fantastic. And actually, half of the time, I don't even study this table. I go immediately to the quiz. And, like one thing that I'll do, so let's swap the languages. I'll say, okay, I'm just going to study these first 5 kanji, right? I'll hide the rest. So I've now made a subset of the quiz. And then I'll just kind of drill down on those 5. Yes, exactly. And yeah, I kind of focus on tests, quizzes, something that where you have to come up with the answer. I don't just kind of read. When I say like read, I don't read vocab tables. I just make mistakes over and over until they disappear. So to ask is kiku, and here you use the same kanji as the and reading as to listen to. And so what you need to do, and just by the way, out of curiosity, are you also studying Japanese? And if so, how are you finding it? So here we're going to write the ear radical. And so, okay, this has a reading of ki. And you might be wondering, okay, why is there an ear radical? Well, it can also mean to listen to this kanji. And so it either means to ask or to listen to. And when you think of it as to listen to, it would make sense, because you listen with your ears. And so if you remember that to ask and to listen to have the same kanji, the same reading, then that association kind of makes sense. You're studying Korean. That's awesome. Korean uses like Hangul, right? Is that what the alphabet is called? Because I remember there was like was it an emperor or some type of royalty, and they used to have like Chinese like symbols, and then like some emperor was like, nah, we'll get rid of that and just use phonetic Hangul. How are you finding Korean? So to think is omo, and I think the kanji with a reading of omo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has a reading of omo. Another thing that helps, by the way, is, for example, these 4 strokes here at the bottom, they come up in different kanji. So with enough practice, I'm only at like the beginning, right? Like I'm not really that good yet, but you start to notice these cluster of shapes that appear over and over and over. So for example, sorry about that. So for example, these 5 strokes at the top, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that shape comes up quite often. So I don't really think of this as 9 individual strokes. I think this box of 5 strokes, and then this shape here at the bottom with 4 strokes. And so by remembering these clusters of shapes called radicals, I guess, it also makes it a bit more easy to remember. So to think is omo. This kanji is reading of omo. Fantastic. Yes, Hangul. It's much easier for me to hear the words in Korean than Japanese. I see. Yeah, you can just look at it and I guess phonetically read it. How long have you been studying Korean, and are you enjoying it? So the kanji with a reading of uta in utau looks like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is called like the mouth radical, and of course you sing with your mouth. So that's another way that this kind of makes sense to me. And then this radical pops up pretty often too. And what's also useful is to remember how many strokes there are in the kanji, right? So I just remember that there are 14 strokes. So if I'm missing a stroke, I know something's off. It's kind of like some of the tricks that I've been using so far to remember this. So this is utao, which is to sing. Now to wear clothes. About 2 days now. I'm still learning the Hangul part, but my friend is from Korea, so he helps me along the way. Oh, that's awesome. I think it's always like really cool if you know a native speaker who can like help you out. I've watched like a couple of like K-drama, so I don't know that much about Korean culture, but it does seem pretty cool country, and I like their culture. So to wear clothes is kiru, and the kanji with the reading of ki and kiru looks like this. So it's you start off with this sheep radical. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is a reading of ki, right? This has got a reading of ki. And then we put ru here, but it's worth kind of pointing out that, of course, yeah, this kanji does mean to wear clothes or to wear, but it can also actually mean to arrive. And in that case, it's like tsuku. So to arrive is tsuku. But yeah, in this case, it's kiru, right? So we've got kiru. And let's submit our answer and we'll go to the next question. So to need in Japanese, well, that's iru, which is the same like phonetic reading as to be for animate objects. So for example, you'd say like, oh, that bunny is white, right? The is would be iru, and because a bunny is an animal, it's animate, it moves. It or like think of living. You would use iru. If you're talking about wool, for example, you'd use aru, like the wool is white. And so this has the same reading, but there's a kanji now with the reading of e, and the kanji with the reading of e, I think, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then this has a reading of, I remember that there were 9 strokes. Okay, let's think this through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got a reading of E. This is Ru for a total of Iru. Okay, so it is indeed 9 strokes. The videos are pretty radical compared to American videos, but Japanese videos are just insane. Are you talking about like K-drama versus anime versus like American TV shows, or please expand a little bit, so because that sounds interesting, but I'm not quite sure what you mean. So the kanji with the reading of a in akeru, so this kanji itself also just means to open. So this is 8 strokes here, and then it's 9, 10. Make sure that the 10th stroke is wider than the 9th, and then you're going to go like that for a total of 12 strokes. This is a reading of a, and then you're going to zoom out here, and you're going to put keru for a total of akeru, which is to open. To walk is aruku, and the kanji with the reading of aru is, let's lock in here, come on. Could it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, hold on now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We finally got there. So this kanji is a reading of aru. And then we just put ku there for a total of aruku. Fantastic, that's a match. It's nice that these come together. So to walk, to run. So to run is hashiru, and the kanji with the reading of hashi, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this third stroke's a bit wider than the first. So this has a reading of hashi, and then we just put ru there for a total of hashiru. To write is I see. So yeah. I noticed that K-dramas were pretty interesting, although let me see, which ones did I like? I thought Squid Game was really cool. And then there's like that Korean movie called like Parasite. That was cool as well. Now to write is kaku, and the kanji with the reading of ka. So we see it in Toshokan. So it's got different readings. And I think in Japanese, you've got like a Chinese reading called onyomi, and you've got a Japanese reading called kunyomi. So here we're going to use the Japanese reading, the kunyomi, for this kanji. So here it's got a reading of ka. And then you just put ku here in hiragana for a total of kaku. Now to work, well, that's hataraku, right? And the kanji with the reading of hatara is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this has a reading of hatara. Ha, ta, ra. So to work in Japanese is hataraku. This kanji has a reading of ha, ta, ra. And then we just put ku here in hiragana for a total of hataraku. So let's take a look here. Our kanji is a match. So we'll accept that, and then we're going to proceed to the next question. So do you have any like favorite American TV shows? Speedy Dennis? So for me personally, I don't know if it's like, what Game of Thrones? I don't know. Is the author American? I'm not sure. I kind of had a, not sure where the author of Game of Thrones is from, but that's definitely a great TV show in my opinion. Okay, so ma is like that, and then we just write keru for a total of makeru. So this is 9 strokes. We'll just submit our answer. Yeah, that's spot on. We'll accept that, and then we're going to go to the next one. So to visit, so this is a personal visit, not a like if you visit your friend at the hospital, you'd use this verb, which is tazuneru. But if you were, if it's like an official visit, like let's say a reporter is visiting a house to do an interview, then you would use homon suru. And so here it's going to be tazuneru, and the kanji with the reading of tazu, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 12. So this here, this kanji has a reading of ta, zu. Now here you're going to write su with dakuten to get the zu sound. S becomes z, this becomes zu. And then here you just write ne ru for a total of tazuneru. Let's submit our answer and we'll take a look. Okay, so this is completely off. Oh no. Okay, so mistakes happen, I guess. So we'll classify that as incorrect and move on to the next question. So to dance is odoru, and the kanji with the reading of odo into dance. Let's come back to that one. Let's do to bring. Okay, so to bring is motte kuru. The kanji with the reading of mo looks like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a reading of mo. And then we're going to put sokuon. So that's a half-sized su, which acts like a beat of silence and then places extra emphasis on the t and te. So this is motte. And then you're just going to write kuru. Now, here, this is the kanji with the reading of ku. That has a reading of ku, so we'll put that there. Put ru here for a total of motte kuru. So our kanji, our furigana, everything's a match. And then we'll go to the next one. So yes, the creator is American. My favorite movie is The Jungle Cruise. Awesome. Like, I actually haven't seen that, so it'd be cool to check out the trailer or something. Now, to close in Japanese is tojiru. Tojiru. And the kanji with the reading of to looks like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a reading of to, and then we just put ji, ru, tojiru, which is to close. Fantastic. To study is benkyou suru, and the kanji with a reading of, why does this keep happening? It's so this is the kanji with the reading of kyo. It's got a total of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 strokes. What's the kanji with the reading of ben? Could it be 1, 2? Yeah, it's all coming back to me. So let's do the whole thing neatly. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the kanji with the reading of ben. The kanji with the reading of kyo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this has a reading of ben. And then this has a reading of kyo. We put suru here. For a total of benkyo suru, we'll submit that. And then we'll go to its answer. So to answer is actually what I wrote, which was kotaeru. Kotaeru. And the kanji for that is 1, 2, 3. Let's clean up that shape a little bit. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this has a reading of ko, ta, put an e there, and a ru for kotaeru, which is the answer. Okay, so that was good. As well, let's just remember that for tazuneru, which is like to visit, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's like 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? Yeah. So now the question is, what is to dance? So is to dance, I know it's oloru. The question is, what's the kanji? I just never remember this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold on now. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is that 14 strokes? Okay, 14 strokes. And then you just put ru here in hiragana. This has a reading of o, do. So we'll submit that and we'll classify as incorrect, of course, because we took a look at the answer. And so we got a 92%. That's not half bad. So we'll save that here, 92% for verbs 2. And I think a nice goal for the next stream would be to get 100% on verbs 2, and then to keep hammering away here at verbs 3. So we learned a couple of these kanji. But yeah, I think this is a perfect place to conclude today's stream. So I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff if you want to support the channel. And that would also support me in continuing to develop lingocommand.com. So that's the website that we've been using. Jana, see you next time. Yeah, so basically that's the website that we've been using. It also comes with an accompanying iOS app. So that's basically the exact same functionality, but in the form of an iPhone app, and also available on iPad. But yeah, in any case, thank you so much everyone for watching. See you next time, and take care. Bye-bye.